If you've been following along and have never joined a design boot camp, I'm going to encourage you to sign up. It's 5 hours of workshops and we have live versions going on often so you can come and ask questions. Go to www.designsweetcourses.com/designbootcamp. If you have been struggling to get sales from your design work or understanding what you really need to do to make money, I have the workshop for you. On September 23rd, I'm hosting my first ever Profitable Designer Workshop. This 1-day, 3-hour workshop is only $97, but I have a discount for all my podcast listeners. Go to carinagardnercourses.com/profit and put in the code podcast for $50 off. I can't wait to see you more profitable. Welcome to the Make and Design Podcast. I'm your host, Carina Gardner. On this podcast, we're unraveling the everyday joys and dilemmas of design, making, and business. For makers who want to be designers and for designers who are makers, this is your inside scoop to help you grow your business and bring more creativity to your life. I will say there is a lot of weight on the second episode because it kind of sets the tone for the entire series, even though I don't know how many people will actually ever listen to this episode. I kind of am doing this like soft launch in the middle of summer, and I have things to say about summer, but that's not going to happen in this episode. Instead, I am going to talk about belief versus wanting, which seems like a kind of a funny thing, but I've been thinking about this because so I have been working with my Design Suite members for 3 months now. And what I see all the time is how bad they want something, but also I am seeing different levels of belief in themselves. And clearly they join the program, so that makes me already realize like how much they do believe in themselves, right? There's a bit of that already. But how I would want for them like full belief in what they're doing, not just the wanting part of it, because those are two really different things. I want things all the time. Can I believe in myself? Belief tends to be a little bit more like you're digging inward, right? For the thing that you want so bad, whether it's to design a fabric line for a company or have a scrapbooking paper deal or to have 5 or 6 shops that are making you passive income in line, making 6 figures, making, 5 figures, just making money being a designer as a belief in and of itself. I mean, so there is like this whole idea of like, there are wants, right? Like I might want something so badly. So how is that different than belief? If I believe that I can become something, then I think that the people who believe are the ones who actually win. It's not the people who just want something, because belief, I think, indicates that you're doing things to become whatever it is that you believe in, right? Now, that being said, I think there are like kind of some stages and steps going on to get from wanting to belief. And, I've just been thinking about this a little bit. A couple of years ago, I read, I think it's Angela Duckworth. Is that how you say her name? Duckworth. She has a book called Grit, which I can't recommend enough. Some people come with a lot of grit. Some people don't. And I don't know if there's a way to bolster grit, but I will say this. I think that I'm just thinking about this in terms of my children. When you spend a lot of time reinforcing the things your kids are doing that are wonderful and good, I think it reinforces also their belief in what they're doing. So for example, my oldest daughter, she is quite the creative. She's an artist and she loves to draw a lot. I mean, she goes through tons and tons of sketchbooks. And, when she was younger, she would show me stuff and I'd be like, that's great, honey. Good job. Like, excellent work, And as she's gotten older, and she even, will look back at her stuff and be like, oh, that was awful. I can't believe you said that was good, Mom. I was like, but that was good for your age. Like, that was excellent work for your age. And now what you're doing is 100 times better than what you did before, right? But like those slow and sure things, like because she didn't necessarily believe in herself at that point. And she's just like young, right? She's just doing the thing. But like, since I was enforcing with her that how good she was doing, like she's grown up feeling like she's an artist, because she is, because she draws art every day. And she's had a lot of outside sources coming in telling her that, she is an artist, that she is someone who draws and illustrates and does those things. Okay. So she has belief that she is those things. I don't know that necessarily everyone gets kind of those reinforcing factors from people around them. Okay. I think I was lucky in this way. I have all sorts of things with my own family life, right? We all do, right? But one of the things I actually got that was really good is that my family was quite creative. My mom is Chinese, and she has always had artistic endeavors like as her hobbies, like just for the fun of it. She takes watercolor classes. She's doing all these artistic things for herself. In fact, she actually watercolored each of my children for me, and I have to put it up. I have a spot for it, but I need to get them all framed. And she just does it because she thinks it's a really wonderful thing. She really enjoys it, right? I don't know if her belief is that she's an artist, but it's something she does, which is part of her identity, I think, which helps with belief, right? And then going back to this whole idea of grit, which is like kind of this like ability to overcome. So, okay, where am I going with all of this? I wanted to talk about two things in particular that I think will help bolster your belief in yourself, not just wanting. I think it's nice to want. I really do. I think it's nice to want something in your life, I'm thinking about design, but there are things out there that you're probably thinking about in your life. Everybody's situation is different, that you really want or that you believe in. Okay. I'm thinking about designers in particular because I hear so often people, not designers yet, but people say, I want to design a fabric line. I want to design a scrapbooking paper line. I want to draw SVGs. I want to illustrate a kid's book. So I hear all these wants, right? But when does it happen that there's like kind of like the jump from I want something to I believe I could draw or illustrate a kid's book. I believe I could design a fabric line. I believe I could have several digital scrapbooking kits online and have them making me passive income. When does that happen? And I was thinking about it and I came up with two things. And if you have more, I hope you have more. I'm actually really curious about it. Like, what do you think makes that transition from want to belief? So the two things I thought of, the first one was to surround yourself with people who have the same beliefs. And I mean, we talk about this all the time. Like, you are like the 5 people that you most associate with. And then I was thinking about for our kids, like how we kind of, I was just talking about my oldest daughter, how we kind of bolster them up and help them achieve, like for positive or negative, their belief system comes from our family units or whatever your unit looks like, right? And so, she has a belief because she has been slowly but surely reinstated that what she is doing is good and that it's part of her identity. I think the same with adults and designers. When we hang out with other people that are similar to us, like either other designers, other business people, other like whatever our friendships are, our belief system very often coincide in some way, okay? And I think that makes a huge difference because if you are hanging out with a whole bunch of people who are constantly tearing other people down, guess what you're going to do? If you are with people who are constantly talking about how they have imposter syndrome or they're not good enough, guess what you're going to do? But if you're with a bunch of people who are doing things to make their life better, guess what you're going to do? You're going to do things to make your life better. If you're with someone who is great with their finances and they're trying their best to put together a retirement, guess what you're going to be thinking about? How's my retirement? How is my retirement doing? You know, if you're with people who are just like trying to produce the best design work out there and be creative, and not even design work, like writing, I'm trying to think of other creatives. There's tons of other creative things out there. Advertising, marketing, like all the creative things out there. If you're with other creatives, even not even in your same niche, because I have an association with a group of women who are business people, and I love it. It makes it wonderful for me because that association shows me all the things I could be doing in my business, right? And it bolsters me up. So surround yourself with people that are going to help make the beliefs that you want to have happen, you know, get further up, like that it's going to be bolstering up for your identity. Okay. So that's my first thought. The second one is work towards the thing that you actually want. Okay. Now that seems really, really obvious, right? But I want to talk about it a little bit more in detail. The first is this: when we're working towards the thing we want, I think I even talk about this, like, because I've already taped a few of these podcast episodes and I'm not taping them in any kind of order. I think when we're working towards the thing we want, we become the thing that we want. Let me say that again. This is really important, you guys. When we work towards the thing we want, we become the thing we want. So our identity is tied to what we do. That's all there is to it. When you design every day, you are a designer. And you will feel more and more like a designer in 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, because you are designing every day, okay? If you exercise every day, and maybe you're not someone who exercises that much before, and you don't think of yourself as an athlete, or you don't think of yourself as someone who exercises or likes to be in shape. But when you start exercising every day, what happens? Your belief is that you are someone who likes to be fit. You're someone who takes good care of their body. And I think that belief starts to set itself in further and further as you do it, right? The more you do it, the more you will have that belief. Same with anything else in our lives. And so I think the more you are, I know I'm talking mostly to designers here, but artists, creatives, the more we do the thing, the more our belief sets in. And guess what, you guys? This kind of gets rid of imposter syndrome. I keep hearing everyone talks about imposter syndrome. It's not something I necessarily understand, not because I'm like, ooh, I know who I am. Like, it's more like I believe the things that I do. Every day I'm doing it. And I think that for you as well. Like, think of all the things that you have done that's so amazing. Do you garden every day? Do you clean your house every day? That makes you a tidy person, right? Like, the things that we do reinforce what our identity is. And so if you want to become anything, just do that thing over and over and over and again. And what happens is you create a pattern where it becomes part of your identity, and then you're not going to have an issue with imposter syndrome. Now, that is quite different from, I know some of you are going to say like, well, like so-and-so is doing so good, and then it makes me feel like I'm not good enough. Okay, that is different, you guys. That's not imposter syndrome. That is comparing. And it is everything that all of us are prone to. Designers, business people, everyone, right? We're all prone to comparing ourselves to other people and being like, oh, I'm not good enough. But if every day you're designing, you will know that you still are a designer, right? That's different. That's the comparison game versus imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is when you like feel like the thing you're doing makes you a fake, right? Like maybe I would, starting a brand new podcast, feel like I'm an imposter in the podcast space, right? Because I've never done it before. I wouldn't have belief that I am a podcaster. As it is, I'm actually videotaping. Like, so if you listen to my podcast, that's awesome. That's the way I like it. You can actually watch me talking. I've just posted them on my YouTube channel. So I kind of think of this a little bit as video because I'm like talking to my camera. And so I don't even completely think of it as just like a podcast. It's on my YouTube channel. It's just video. And honestly, these are some of the types of trainings that I do with my design mastery program group. Cause like when you are learning to become a designer, it takes there is a jump. There is a jump in belief where you're like spending a lot of time designing, but you also have to believe in yourself, which is why I wanted to talk about this today, because I desperately want my design mastery members and any of you out there who are learning to design, trying something new, to figure out a way to believe in the thing that you're doing. Okay. Just believe in yourself. And that's easier said than done, which is why I want you to do these two things. Surround yourself with people who either will bolster you up in that belief or, that believe the same thing as you, okay? And two, do that thing as much as possible so that the belief becomes embedded and becomes a pattern. Because when that happens, you will believe, okay? All right, guys. Thanks for joining me today. You guys, if you know me in real life, or you know me because you're part of one of my programs, and so we know each other, right? I like to know the names and what all of my designers are doing. I'm looking at their artwork. You know that I want you guys to believe in yourselves. I want that for you, and I want you to become amazing designers or amazing at whatever you're doing in life, okay? So if you want to check out more about me, you can find out more about my courses at carinagardnercourses.com. You can also go to carinagardner.com. Just check out all my design work because I love design just about more than anything. So you can go check those out, and I will see you soon. Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.